Hello and welcome back. Welcome to a new edition, yes, a new edition of Vaughan and Vivo. My name is Richard Vaughan. As you know, if this is your first time tuning in to this program, if this is your first time tuning in, como sintonizando una radio, tuning in to this program, hello, it's good to meet you. If it's not your first time, no digo hello, it's good to meet you. Digo hello, it's good to see you. Or it's good to see you again, because meet is por primera vez. Whether it's good to see you or good to meet you, welcome. For the people who are back for a second or subsequent time, welcome back. For the people who are new, welcome. It's good to meet you. I'm glad to have one more student with me, because according to the statistics we have, almost 2 million students, no está mal. Y todavía no figuro en el libro Guinness. I should be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the biggest English class on this planet. 2 million students simultaneously, no está mal. Teaching 2 million students. Can you imagine? Imagine. Now I'm speaking of 2 million students. Imagine I go to the Camp Nou, or to Bernabeu, or to the Vicente Calderón, or Sánchez Pizjuán, but let's say Bernabeu. 100,000 people or 90,000 people, and I sit down in the middle of the field with my microphone, and I say, welcome to Vaughan and Vivo, and I start teaching them. Wouldn't you be nervous if you had to do that? Well, I'm teaching 10 times more than in the Bernabeu State. No, 10 times que va, 20 times more. El que va en inglés. What do you mean? ¿Qué quieres decir 10 veces, 20 veces? What do you mean 10 times? What do you mean? Con esa entonación. What do you mean 10 times? I'm teaching 20 times more people than sitting in the middle of the football field in Bernabeu Stadium and teaching everybody simultaneously. And despite that, I'm not afraid, because the only thing I see is a camera. I don't see you sitting behind the camera. But I remember one time, I was in the book fair in Madrid, La Feria del Libro. I was in the book fair I was in a stall. Stall is una caseta in the book fair. And a lady came with a little girl, maybe 6 years old or 5, very, very little girl, 5 years old, a very cute little girl. And the mother said, we saw you on television last week. And I looked at, oh really? And I looked down at the little girl and said, did you see me last week? And the little girl said, I said, well, why didn't you wave? Why didn't you wave? To wave is saludar con la mano. She said, I don't know. And I said, well, next time, when you see me, you wave, okay? And if I see you, I'll wave back. Devolver el saludo is to wave. Saludar con la mano is to wave, like this, bye, bye. To wave, como las olas del mar o las ondas del aire. O ondear una bandera, the flag is waving. Esa oscilación is wave. Radio waves, the waves in the ocean, and to wave is mover la mano en plan de saludo. To wave goodbye, saludar adiós literalmente. To wave hello, saludar hola, okay, to wave, okay. And I said to the little girl, why didn't you wave if you saw me? So next time you're watching me, wave, all right? And maybe I'll be able to see you better. And then I can wave back, okay? And the little girl said, okay, vale. All right, and she was very, pobrecita, she was very excited, muy emocionada. Huh? She was very excited that she could, next time she could wave to me, and maybe I would wave back, okay? Number one, ¿cuánto crees que vamos a tardar en este programa? How long do you think it's going to take us? Repetid lo que acabo de decir. Do you want me to repeat? Do you want me to repeat? Okay. ¿Cuánto crees que vamos a tardar? How do you think it's going to take you? How long do you think it's going to take us? How long do you think it is going to take us? Y hago la contracción, por supuesto. How long do you think it's going to take us? La pregunta que aquí es, do you think? No, is it going to take? Por eso digo it is. How long do you think it's going to take us? Well, it's going to take us about 23 minutes to finish this segment and 25 minutes to finish the next segment. So it's going to take us about 48 minutes to cover everything I need to cover today. And what do you need to cover today? Whew, hundreds of different little aspects and big aspects of the language. ¿Cuánto vamos a tardar? How long is it going to take us? How long is it? Aquí digo is primero y luego it. ¿Cuánto vamos a tardar? ¿Cuánto ello nos va a llevar? Es como lo decimos en inglés. How long is it going to take us? And in the question, si cambio la pregunta y digo, do you know? How long, or do you think? How long do you think it's going to take us? El is it cambia it is. Porque la pregunta ahora es, do you think? Y el resto de la frase tiene que volver a su estado afirmativo. Okay. Okay, tenemos bastante gente para este programa. Do we have enough people? Juan Luis is here, and the Siete Magníficos, the Magnificent Seven in the control booth are here. Tenemos bastante gente. Do we have enough people? Yes, I quote them. We have enough people, yeah. Yes, we have Juan Luis and the Magnificent Seven. They are all here to make it easy for me to teach English. Without them, I would be nothing. Without them, my voice would not propagate. Without them, you wouldn't be able. No podrías. You wouldn't be able to see me. Without them, you wouldn't have English on TV. Okay? Without them, you wouldn't have this opportunity. Ay, mi mujer no está de acuerdo con tu sugerencia. My wife doesn't agree with your suggestion. Yeah. In any case, thank you for your suggestion. You see, the other day, I had a problem. And I went to my best friend, Sergio. I said, Sergio, listen, I have this problem. And Sergio said, well, listen, why don't you marry another woman at the same time and be a bigamist? Have two wives. I said, me, two wives? Well, nunca se me había ocurrido. It had never occurred to me. Let me talk to my wife about this and see what she says. And so last night I brought up the subject. Saqué el tema en la cena nuestra. We went out together. We went to a restaurant near our house because when I got home and I opened the door, said, darling, I'm home. And she came. Said, she gave me a kiss. She said, welcome home, darling. Fine. How are you? I said, fine. She said, listen, darling. Yes, darling. Well, listen, darling, I don't really feel like cooking dinner tonight. Oh, no, darling? Well, what do you suggest? She said, I suggest we go out and find a restaurant near home and try a new restaurant. There are many restaurants around my house, it's true. I live in the center of Madrid, and there are many restaurants around our house. So we decided to adventure out. Aquí uso adventure, aventura, como un verbo, aventurarnos, okay? To adventure out into the small side streets and find a restaurant we had pluscuamperfecto, porque fue ayer, salimos para buscar un restaurante donde jamás habíamos o nunca habíamos comido. So we went out and started looking for a restaurant where we had never had dinner before, and we found a small Moroccan restaurant. So I said, okay, well, let's try it. Probémoslo, let's try it. And so we went into the restaurant. It was empty. There were no tables. But the food was delicious, by the way. So apparently people have not found this restaurant yet, but it's a very good restaurant. And during the meal, I brought up the subject of a second wife, because that's what Sergio told me. And she said, are you crazy? You want to have a second wife? In addition to me? In addition to me? I said, well, not necessarily. I went to Sergio. my friend, and he's a psychologist, and he suggested bigamy. And mi mujer no estaba de acuerdo con su sugerencia. My wife didn't agree with his suggestion. And she said to me, I want you for me, and only for me. Te encontré primero, el primero. I found you first. My wife said that one time to a dog. Can you believe it? One time we were visiting some friends, and the friends had a very nice dog, a hunting dog, but a very pleasant dog, a female dog. And the dog spent the entire weekend, we were staying there for the weekend with me, and she was licking me, lamiendo mi mano, etc., licking my hand, and my wife turned and said, ya está bien. She said, don't you think that's enough? I found him first, okay? And she told me the same thing last night in the Moroccan restaurant. She said, no, 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 I don't agree. Sergio's wrong. He says you need a second wife in addition to me. No, I will give you everything you need. And so I said, okay, trato hecho. And we made a deal. And so now my wife has decided to give me everything I need, including slippers and a bata, or batín. When I get home, she gives me my coat, my slippers. She escorts me. Me escolta, se dice en inglés. Me acompaña, dirigiéndome, o sea, guiándome. She escorts me to my favorite chair. I sit down in my favorite chair. She brings me a whiskey. And then she sits on the floor and lies her head on my leg and says, darling, did you have a nice day? Okay. And I don't need another wife. Okay. Mi mujer no está de acuerdo con tu sugerencia. My wife doesn't agree. I don't agree. Do you agree? Does he agree? Do they agree? We agree. We don't agree. We agree. We don't agree. Perdonad que lo diga tantas veces, pero es para eliminar un vicio que la mitad de ustedes o vosotros tenéis, que es usar el verbo estar con to agree. En inglés, no, acordar, to agree. Estoy de acuerdo contigo. I agree with you. And my wife doesn't agree with my psychologist. Okay, pues si no está de acuerdo, dile que me llame. If he doesn't agree with me, tell him to call me. Tell him. Tell him. Dicho de corrido, tell him. La H se pierde en esta ecuación. Tell him to call me if he doesn't agree, and we'll talk. Okay? ¿Funciona? Does it work? Antes funcionaba perfectamente. It used to work perfectly. It used to work, but now it doesn't. Hello, can you hear me? Does it work? It was working perfectly a few minutes ago. It worked fine yesterday. This microphone used to work with no problem. Now it gives us problems every other day. This microphone gives us, nos da problemas un día sí otro no. This microphone gives us problems every other day. It used to be a perfect microphone. It never used to. Antes jamás me daba problemas. It never used to give me problems. Now, it gives me constant problems. Every other day, something is wrong. One time it was a switch. Another was the connection here. Another was something wrong in this part of the microphone. All right. ¿Funciona? ¿Funciona hoy? Does it work today? I'm not sure if it works. Funciona si le tratas bien o lo tratas bien. It works if you treat it well. You need to treat equipment and machines like you treat people. I hope you treat people well. If you treat people with respect, with courtesy, and with kindness and generosity, they will respond to you with the same. And the saying, cuanto más das, más recibes, is true. The more you give, the more you receive. Not usually in the short term, but in the long run, a la larga, in the long run, the more you give, the more you get back. Recibes de vuelta. The more you receive. And when you treat physical things, objects, and mechanical things, and electrical things, and electronic things, if you treat them well, they give more. And it's exactly the same with humans. If you treat your car well, you change the oil at the right time, you change the tires at the right time, or rotate. Some people rotate the tires at the right time. If you don't push the car to its limits constantly, the car will last longer and will break down less often and will give you fewer problems. Okay? If you treat the car well. And it's exactly the same with people. If you treat people well, with courtesy, respect, they will respond in kind. Okay? Con la misma moneda. Decimos in kind. Okay? So, ¿funciona? Does it work? Today I don't think it works. That's why I'm wearing this microphone here. It's because this microphone isn't working these days. No funciona estos días. Si digo estos días, suelo usar el presente continuo. The microphone isn't working these days. Lleva 2 meses sin funcionar. It hasn't worked for the past 2 months. It used to work. It used to work. Used to es la forma de hablar en el pasado cuando no precisas ni tiempo ni duración. Yo antes vivía en Texas. Ahora no. I used to live in Texas. Cuando alguien dice used to, más el infinitivo, lo único que es seguro es que ya no es válido lo que ha dicho. Y si alguien dice, I used to be a priest, ya sabes que ya no es cura, sacerdote. I used to be a priest. Yo antes fui cura, o yo antes era cura. Antes enseñaba mejor. I used to teach better. En estos casos, I used to be a priest. I used to teach better. No estoy diciendo ni cuándo ni durante cuánto tiempo. Si añado duración o tiempo, no puedo usar used to. I was a priest in the 1980s. I taught better several years ago. Okay. I lived in Oklahoma from 1960 to 1961 to 1970. I lived in Oklahoma for 9 years. Aquí no digo used to ni soñando porque sería un error gramatical y chocaría. Ahora, vamos a decir lo mismo. I used to teach better. I used to be a priest. I used to live in Oklahoma. Okay? En los 3 casos no he dicho ni duración ni cuándo. El único hecho es que yo antes era o vivía o tenía o enseñaba y ahora menos o ya no es válido. Anymore. I don't teach well anymore. I don't live in Oklahoma anymore. And I'm not a priest anymore. I used to be a priest. It's not true. I've never been a priest. Pero para fines de esta clase, I used to be a priest. But I'm not a priest anymore. Hugo Sanchez used to be a professional football player, but he's not a professional football player anymore. This microphone used to work perfectly. Now it's constantly giving us problems. ¿Funciona? Does it work? Okay. El sol está detrás de las nubes. The sun is behind the clouds. It's a cloudy day. It's a cloudy day. Okay. But with me, it doesn't matter if it's cloudy or sunny because I sing a song. And if I sing a song, it doesn't matter. Okay? Who cares? Who cares? ¿A quién le importa? Who cares about the clouds? ¿A quién le importan las nubes si tú y yo estamos juntos? Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you. Okay. Es una canción de los vaqueros míos, los amigos míos tejanos. Texas Cowboys. Felices caminos o senderos. Happy trails. Escrito trail, lo contrario de trial, ¿ok? Intercambiando las letras en el centro. Trail es sendero, vereda o camino de tierra, where you go on your horse, it's trail. Happy trails, felices senderos. Happy trails to you. If you remind me, I'll sing this song at the end of this program today. If you don't remind me, I'll forget. I'm a very absent-minded person. Soy una persona muy despistada, muy olvidadiza. I'm a very forgetful person, a very absent-minded person. And I never remember anything, okay? I think my name is Richard. Yeah, I remember that. But many other things I forget. I'm starting to get old. And one of the signs, uno de los signos, one of the signs of old age is loss of memory. Two things happen to you with old age. The first is loss of memory. And I can't remember the second, I'm sorry. So, if you want to hear me sing the song, the cowboy song from Texas, where I grew up in two states, Texas and Oklahoma. But my first 9 years were in Texas, my second 9 years in Oklahoma, and then I went back to Texas for my higher education. Enseñanza superior, higher education. Okay? And so I'm more Texan than Oklahoman, but they're together. It's practically the same. And there's a cowboy song, Felices Senderos. It talks about the clouds. Who cares? ¿A quién le importa? Las nubes, si tú y yo estamos juntos. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Anda. Mira qué profe tenéis. No os vais a quejar. Come on. How many English teachers do you have who motivate you, inspire you, y encima, and on top of that, sing to you? Come on. You don't know what you have. And I don't want any criticism, okay? So, recordadme, por favor. Remind me when this class is over to sing a song. But I think the class will stop in a few minutes for a break. But I'm talking about the following segment because this class isn't over yet. All right. El sol está detrás de las nubes. The sun is behind the clouds, okay? Which means it's a cloudy day. Okay, it's a cloudy day. But the sky isn't overcast. When the sky is overcast, it means you can't see the blue sky anywhere. It's gray from horizonte a horizonte. How do you say horizonte in English? Fácil. Horizon. You don't understand? You want me to repeat? Horizon, 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 horizon. Horizon, pero la pronunciación is horizon. Many years ago, there was a car in Spain or in Europe. It was called el Chrysler Horizon. All right? And of course, everybody in Spain in 1980, 1981 talked about el horizon, el horizon. And in English class, sometimes I said, the horizon. I said, ¿cómo? The horizon. ¿Eso qué es? The Chrysler Horizon. And they didn't understand. Finally, I had to write it on the board. I said, hombre, el horizon, habermelo dicho. The horizon. And the horizon in the east, the horizon in the west. The sun comes up in the east, you can see the horizon, and it sets or goes down in the west, and you can see the horizon. The horizon. Horizontes perdidos, lost horizon. Okay? Now, the horizon, if you can't see the horizon on one side or on the other, and you can't see any blue sky, we say the sky is overcast. Cielo cubierto, tapado de nubes. Overcast. And it's usually a depressing day, depressing weather. And in some areas of the world, you have 1 month of overcast skies every day. And then it begins to affect your personality and your character, and you become depressed. And then when the sun comes out, wow, Gloria, it's the sun. Okay, we're going to continue in a few minutes. You have 5 minutes, but again, don't forget to remind me in the next segment to sing you the song to say goodbye. Okay? 5 minutes.